People on stage. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. All right, we are getting ready for readings. Who's ready? I got to hit one more little round of all my little things I do. Some would call it superstitious. You know, the smell, the scent, it changes the energy for me. So my sacred cedar is part of my routine or my ritual. Call it what you will, but it works for me. And yes, hopefully you can hear me. I should probably check that out. Let me see. Yes, we are live, right? All right. It says we're live. We got a vertical format. We got a horizontal format. If you're new, we do readings. Everyone gets a free speed reading. And sometimes we got folks who are able to send a gift to the channel. Got to use the right word. Send a gift to the channel, then I can spend more time on your chart. That's the way that works. Otherwise, everyone just gets a free speed reading. All right. So you got to get your name in the chat, though. I follow the chat. I look at the chat, and that's the order in which it goes, and that's the cue. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes people send their information to the Gmail account. It is on the screen, Allastrology@gmail. Make sure you pay attention to the spelling. It's a little bit different. It's not the spelling of the word astrology. You gotta recheck that spelling if you want me to get the email. Sometimes people send an email and I don't get it because they're sending it out there to wherever it goes. All right, so we have limited time, folks. Limited time. We're starting here at 2:00, so I got to get to work. I have to be done by 4. I have to be done in 2 hours. All right, so that's it. That's our timeline. And we just got to I got to try to focus and get through this so that we can get whoever shows up and ultimately try to give people a little bit of insight and a little help if they need it. And if not, that's okay too. I can move on. I got other things to do. Okay, so Christy, I see you. Hey, Christy, what's going on? Yeah, so if anybody's watching and you're in that format, the vertical thing, if you wanted to actually see your chart, I would suggest finding the horizontal format. Just go to the Allastrology channel page on YouTube, and you can choose which format you prefer. Okay, so birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Sometimes I absolutely need your birth country. Sometimes, yeah. Some things are a little wacky, so you got to get me all the digits so I can draw up a chart for you. And if you're already in my system, because you've been here before, then that makes it easier as well. Then we don't got to spend time doing that. All right. So Christy, what's going on? I see you. Hello, amiga. Jazzy Bella is here. Christy, Jazzy saying, "Hey, I'm Francesca." Thank you. That helps me a lot. Right. Hey there. 333. Yeah, I don't never know how to pronounce that. We'll call you G333. One wise lady's here too. Okay. All right. Might be a slow day, and that's okay. Passing, I'm just listening. Yeah, that's great. Thank you for letting us know you're passing because you were the first name on that list. So we'll go right down, and I'm just going to get to work. Jazzy Bella says, yes, love a reading. I'm Francesca. All right. Let me pull up your chart, Francesca. Let's do this Let me get my software going here. I guess that means y'all can hear me. Right? Yeah. So let's see what's going on here for Francesca. No, I'm not coming back to the chat to read your questions, just so you know. I don't have time. When you put your name in there, make sure if you've got something in particular you want me to focus on, give me like 1 or 2 words and then I'll focus. But if not, I'm just going to tell you what comes through. Make sense? And if that doesn't work, then I just go to the next name. I know there's just a few people here right now, but sometimes the chats get full and then I end up people get looked over. And then yeah, I feel horrible about it when. All right, so Francesca, let me stop babbling and find you. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, there's just been some wonky stuff, right? We got Uranus and Gemini at 0, so things definitely are different now. I don't know if y'all noticed, did your brain go into high gear? Did you notice that? Your curiosity level possibly, wanting to learn, but different and unique, and even changing up your habits and your day-to-day routines, your communication style, your thinking style, considering shit you never considered before. That's that's the goal of Uranus energy in Gemini, to change that brain around, to get you to consider something you just didn't think was either possible, probable. It was something you probably wouldn't have even considered. That's the goal of Uranian energy. It really wants to stir the pot, but it's even taking ingredients out of the freaking pot. It's changing the recipe is what it does. It wants to change the freaking recipe and show you. You got a whole refrigerator full of different items. Go in there, grab something, make a new freaking recipe. Like that's kind of the best way I can simply put the Uranian energy, because we don't need to get into the brain waves and frequency, and which is all reality, right? And changing away, the rewiring and firing happens in the neurons and the pathways of the brain and blah, 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 that kind of talk. I think people go to sleep. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're ready to hear it. But either way, sometimes food tends to just be the yeah, I think that's the second universal language is food. All right, so we're going to start the reading off. Get your birth digits to me: birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. If you don't have your birth time, you need to say that. You need to be honest. Don't make some shit up. You won't get just say, I don't know. And we'll give you a noon hour reading. And that will probably be more accurate than just making some stuff up, unless you know your intuitions are awesome and you get the shit and it comes through clear for you. Well, then that's a whole different thing. Then you probably don't need me to read your chart at that point. Okay, let me get that thing off the screen in case someone's, this is really ultimately a learning environment. And yeah, seeing the chart is a big deal for some folks. Okay. So Francesca, yeah, I didn't even read the chat, but I'm pretty sure you're going to want to know about love. I need like the Love American style music, right? Or the Love Boat. Does anybody remember that? All those old school. Okay, so let me get this on here. I think we even talked about this. So Leo energy is a big thing. And that's kind of what's jumping out in my brain is Leo energy for you, which is nice. That's different, right? Normally it's always showing me Saturn and Taurus and your 8th house in the past and the wounds of the past. So yeah. Now it's the Leo energy that's jumping out. And I got to say that the Jupiter that's right there in your 11th house. Well, it's really in your 10th, but it's going to go into your 11th. But thinking about the future and somebody that you'd want to seriously commit to type of thing, because that's that long-term commitment stuff, that 10th house energy. The Jupiter energy also is about the future. It just has us all thinking about the future and what we need for our emotional security. And this Jupiter, if you look closely in Francesca's chart, her 3rd house cusp line, what am I thinking about? 19 degrees of Scorpio. So the Jupiter is trining that. And it's the mind is the third house. So this is a big part of what your brain's just focused on. And for females looking for males in their life, Jupiter is the one that we're going to marry. That's the thinking, that's the teaching. Now, that with that said, Jupiter and Leo can be a thing, but it can also be communication. As Jupiter gets to 18, then 19, it will trine exactly. And yeah, it'll be connecting. Like right now, it's connecting with your Venus at 18. So love is on the menu for you. I haven't met you at a time when it wasn't, but Neptune will eventually be there. And Jupiter's going to move fast. So as Jupiter moves pretty fast, it's going to enter Leo, the fiery energy. And you have a sun. Your sun is what, 2 degrees of Leo? I'm sorry, 2 degrees of Saggy, love, values, desires in the third house. Again, I'm thinking about my future third house, possibly travel plans, but third house is also peers and neighbors and coworkers, and even like, literally housemates, like who you live with. It can be very domesticated energy, as is Jupiter 18 degrees. We're thinking about that seriously at 18. It's my daily routines. Who do I want to wake up next to? Who do I want to go to sleep next to? The same damn face? Because that's the day-to-day doldrum kind of not real fancy kind of stuff. But the Jupiter is going to change its tune. So when Jupiter goes into Leo, this is June. You're going to feel this energy a little bit earlier. This is showing the end of June, but mid-June. And then that Jupiter is going to trine your sun. So talking and communication. But like that's the more fiery initiating time. But even now, your third house of talking and communicating is probably going to be amped up because Jupiter will still be sending that beautiful trine energy to all the rest of your Scorpio degrees. And so this is from now all the way until like mid-June. Okay. Which means, for relationships and if love is a thing, we're connecting, we're talking, we're communicating. Jupiter says travel. Jupiter says somebody who lives far away, foreigner, foreign land, foreign country, foreign language, but maybe in a learning environment. Right? Jupiter, I'm going to go back to school type of thing. So even spirituality and religion, philosophy and life, law, justice, freedom, right? Seeking and traveling, like that's Jupiter energy. And so if you have an opportunity to partake in any of those things, having Jupiter connect with your third house, which its ruling planet is Jupiter, means that there is a higher probability, we'll put it like that, a higher probability of you connecting with someone that you are saying, oh yeah, I'm serious about this person. And because the way your chart is set up, yes, people who have a strong connection to the soul bonds, we'll put it like that, especially with Scorpio energy and your Neptune energy. So from now is the time to get yourself out there, to be talking, to be relating, to be communicating, to be seeking and searching, but in a way where we're there in a receptive mode. Because remember, your Venus is being touched as we speak. And that's what Venus does. She's not just desire and the 5 senses. Venus ultimately is, yes, our love language, but how we are willing to receive. And sometimes our idea of who or what we'll receive might be a little bit different than what comes to the table. So we may have to, expand our mind and our Uranian energy, right? For different and new and just be open. Otherwise, an opportunity can pass you by. All right. There you go. So G333. Did I get your info? You have my info from last time. Oh, great. You said that. Excellent. All right. So you didn't put a word there saying what you want me to check in on. So we'll go find your chart. How about that? Okay. Taffy was just here. I don't know why she bolted. Well, you know why? Because I lit my stuff. That's why. We had to smoke it up, but we didn't smoke it up a lot. All right. So let me see if we've got the G33. I wonder how I put you in here. Did I put you as G333 or did I put the L in front of it? Because this whole thing is alphabetized. And I recognize your name. Let me see if I can find the 333s. That would be the easiest, fastest thing. What a challenge. Do I have any number? Yeah, so what did I have you under? What name did I have you under? I'm going to go slowly. I've got some names with numbers, but no 333. I thought I did, though. I thought I was going to do yours like that because I recognize your name. Unless you told me to put it under something else. If you did, then that's what I would have done. I'm scanning. No, I don't see anything under. So what's it under? Or Lisa? Oh, crap. Let's see. Yeah, I recognize your name. Why the heck aren't you here? Well, you know what? Do me a favor. Oh, there it is. My eye went right over it. What the hell? You're right. Lisa G333. Look at that. I don't know why the G33. I was looking just for numbers. That wasn't jumping out. All right, let's get that on the screen here. And let's see what we're talking about here. Yeah, the love boat, right? Hello, owl. I see you there. One wise lady. Okay, I said hello to these people. Okay. Vids, V-I-D-Z, vids. Okay, so I got you. So, yeah, let's see what we're taking a look at here. Let's see what kind of is the big story for you. You got a vertex at 23. That jumped out right there. Oh, I might even have mentioned, you know why that jumped? Michael Jackson has been in my head for months now. And so, of course, that means his chart, right? I've been reading his chart and kind of studying up on him. I grew up listening to his music, but he was just so all around all the time. Like, I guess, yeah, I took it for granted, his unbelievableness, because just grew up on it. It was like nothing, yeah, from the Jackson 5 to anyway. But that's his south node, 23 degrees of Aries. And yours is in the 12th house. So the vertex, the anti-vertex, that AX there, you see that? This is considered fated energy. And some of these words I don't like using, fate and stuff, because we kind of sound like it kind of implies we have no control. And the whole point of the astrology is to just show you the influences you're under, but the control is yours. Okay. So 23 degrees is very extremely independent energy, super independent energy, can be the leader for sure. Taking action, initiating, because yours is in the 12th house. It means it, well, let me, hold on. Let me go find your Mars. Yeah, your Mars is in Cancer at 1 degrees as well. Okay, so definitely leadership role. You got it in a lot of ways. Leadership role for you, the 1 degrees is in the 3rd house of talking, relating, communicating. Feminine energy can be some masculine energy or feminine energy that has some strong masculine overtones and vice versa. But home and family feelings and emotions. Mars inflames things. It just automatically does. And because you've got an Aries moon as well, God, I really feel like I've already talked about this though. But the Aries moon also at the 1 degrees. Holy crap. This is a Martian energy, just either way. And then you've got that Uranian energy. Same thing. Okay, so this has jumped out again, but the 23 degrees, not enough is talked about in terms of Aries energy, expressing its true leadership qualities, which is it develops the mind. It develops the we mentality, not just me, but we. And for you at both ends, there's fated energy there. And this means people, conversations, communications, events, just different happenings occur in your life where you're connecting with individuals that there's a familiarity with, people who usually can step in and be of assistance in some way. Some might even call those people like angels. I've heard people refer to like when people just kind of step in out of nowhere. And it doesn't have to be all like cloak and daggerish or, it's just that somehow the help arrived when you need it and in the most unlikely of places. And so 23 degrees, I will add, is also like part of the angel vibration and and energy that comes forward where we somehow can gain something. So, I kind of want to hear if you can confirm this energy because this is what's in your chart. And being in the 12th house, that can be confusing, which is where that's at. The leadership role, okay, what am I leading in what way, in what shape, and what form, and how am I leading? But spiritual leadership at the end of the day, especially when you have Aries in the 12th house, that means some would call this karmic energy. Like this is a duty, a responsibility. This is something you have to do or be on the receiving end of, because if it's the 12th house, supposedly we've done this already. This is stuff from the past. And, more and more each day, I'm not really sure I like using the word past. I really never did care for that word to begin with, because then people tend to ponder on the past and get stuck in it. And I'm totally not about that. I feel like it's a ball and chain, and I don't think we can move forward when we do that. So sometimes this conversation piece about soul energy and karmic energy, seeds that we have sown, right? That's karma too. It's not just about, oh God, look what you did. So seeds that we have sown, well, if we're planting something, well, if I'm going to go plant a garden, it's because I want my zucchinis, damn it. I want my tomatoes, right? So we plant something that we want is also part of the story. And at 23 degrees in the 12th, if it's confusing, if you're like, God, I don't know what that is, and that's only for you to figure out. But remember, home and family, this is your hint. I'm telling you now, because you have Mars there initiating and starting. This because it's in Cancer, it may have something to do with the past, but it's in the house of sibling energy. You know what? There are also 1, 2, 3. This is like for you in this particular time, there's this whole communication and third chakra kind of crap coming forward really loudly. It might be because you got number 3 planted all over the chart. I have no idea. And Mars, there can be some just something from the past, but also that just they're saying to focus that you're planting seeds for the future is what the goal is here with Aries at 23 degrees. And I'm sorry that I'm using this as an example. This is the way symbology works sometimes. And on some days it just floods me and it drives me nuts. But if you think, I'm tying this back to MJ, if you think of what some of the music that he created, like in the last 10, 20 years of his life, it was, things about the planet, the earth, humanitarian stuff. And it resonates so deeply right now with the world as it stands today. But it was stuff that he had planted, that he had put down on paper and sound and music for the future. You see? So that's just my little thing that was coming forward for you. But the third chakra stuff, and once the connection of once those healed, then we go up in the level. We rise up. We go to the fourth. Anyway, you rise up and you heal. The point is to heal. So maybe there was something from the past, something that you're just working on, even just talking and thinking and thoughts and being unbelievably sensitive, probably. So yeah, that's what stuck out. Absolutely. Okay, someone threw some digits in here, so let me get to that. One wise lady, do I have your digits? I didn't mean to skip over you if I did. I'm so sorry if it happened that way, but I think you're next. Let's see if you're here. Are you still here, one wise lady? Let me know that you're in the chat. Planning. Yes. Well, talking and thinking is absolutely part of the whole planning thing, but maybe planning for how old are you? Planning for a family? No, it's 1985. Yeah, you are welcome. Is the person that left me their digits, are they here? Otherwise, yeah, we're gonna move on. Who am I moving on to? Other folks that have their info. Hi, can you see my birth chart? So real quick, this person who said, can you see my birth chart? If you give me your digits, I can see it. Birth time, birth date, birth city, birth state. Got it? Send your digits to me. Maybe you already did. Let me go check. Let me go check. Let me refresh this thing here. Nope, I don't see any digits sent to the email. So if you don't have them there, you better drop them below or vice versa. I definitely feel a very karmic. I'm getting it. I'm getting to it now. I'm slow. Oh, someone's saying I already have their digits. Okay, well, give me your name, whoever that person is. Give me the name that the chart is under so I can find it for you, okay? Oh, I have it under the word India? Okay, well, I'll get there. Give me a second. Let me get this one on here real quick. I definitely feel I live a very karmic life and also have leadership capabilities, but struggle with mental health stuff. Cancer in the third house. But okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing about this, okay? Also getting my life insurance on Thursday again, and we'll be doing legacy. Gotcha. The thing of the mental health stuff and the struggling with the leadership capabilities, maybe it's not that, maybe it's just, feeling like it's strictly the mental health. People with cancer in the third, they're, the sensitivity level is the empathic level. It doesn't make it simple, right? So I'm hearing their energetic body absolutely to start doing work around that for however it is and whatever it is you need to feel safe and secure, especially when it comes to communication and to sharing information, learning information, but sharing information as well. You have your Cirrus there too, right next to your Mars energy. So that's probably something where Mars gives you the fearlessness to go ahead and work towards. But all in all, Mars and Aries energy is courageous. It is courageous energy. And so it's kind of trying to put some of those things aside if possible so that they don't control you. I know that's so much easier said than done. I totally get it. Also getting my life insurance. Okay, gotcha. And we'll be doing legacy. Well, Cancer energy, legacy, Capricorn energy, planning. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to India, apparently, because the person that I called out one wise lady and one, wow, that's a tricky one for me. Why, that's a tricky one. I'm not even, I look silly. I can't say it. One wise lady. I did it. Yay. Yes, thank you. Yep. Okay, so I've sent it. It's in the chat box live. It's in the chat box live. Okay, let me scroll backwards then. Maybe she dropped it here and I scrolled right past it. That's a possibility. I hope. Are you using more than one name as you're in the chat here? Jay-Z said, yeah, the Love Boat for sure. Okay. So no, I don't see any birth digits. You said it's in the chat box live. Well, I can see both chats. Unless StreamYard's being tricky and not showing me both chats. That's a possibility. I mean, it happens every blue moon. We have glitches, right? So if you want your chart read, you got to be persistent. You got to put all your digits in. Or you could just go to the other route and send me an email. You could do that. And I just want to say something. The emails aren't a trap. I don't want y'all to think that. And then that's the only reason I can think why people hesitate. Oh, shit, if I send her an email, then she's going to have my email. Then she's going to flood my inbox. No, I don't. Ask anybody here. I'm like, leave me alone. I do. Trust me. I do not have shit on automated where I do these live streams to help people. It's not to get your Gmail accounts so I can spam you with all these new offerings I have. No, anything I do, I just put it on YouTube. And if you're interested, you reach out to me. That's how I do it. I don't have time. I don't pay someone to take care of that crap because I don't have the money. And I honestly don't want to go crazy. I mean, this needs to be done for me in a way where I can stay sane. So being overwhelmed, like with a lot of responses and whatnot, no, I kind of like the spontaneity because then I can handle it organically as it's occurring. And I don't have anything looming over my head other than people reaching out for private one-on-ones. And that's you reaching out to me for a private one-on-one. I refuse. I'm not going to be the one who's like, oh, will you please send me your No, I'm not doing that. I have other things to do. All right, so let's see. Oh, okay. I see digits now. I see digits now. Sweet. Thank you. Awesome. Let's draw this up. All right. Let me switch around this here. Yeah, I definitely don't recognize your name. I mean, I was thinking we had you in our system, but if you haven't been here, definitely not. God, I hope I spelled this right. And if I didn't spell your name right, don't be offended. All right, so I'm going to repeat this to make sure I'm correct. You were born in India. So this is May 10th, 2003 for a birthday. And 12:20 p.m. birth time. I'm surprised anybody would want. All right, let's get your city, your town. Oh, I spelled it with V's and that ends. Okay, let's see what they tell me. And if that doesn't work, then I'll use the other name that you gave me. The other city was not found. Okay, so we'll use the other one you gave me. Yeah, sometimes when they're really tiny towns, the system just, let's see what they come up with. So have you seen your chart before? They're showing me a chart. Let me get it on the screen so you can see it. A Leo rising. Taurus sun at 19 degrees. Your Mercury is behind your sun. 14-degree Mercury retrograding. That's a good benefit when someone has Mercury in Taurus to have it as a retrograde, although it can be wicked. I mean, in a nice way. You have you have a moon in Virgo, the details. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That's you, Virgo moon, and it's at 4 degrees. That's home. That's property, right? Holy crap. All right. I think you had a question about property, real estate or something. I think I saw. Let me go back and see what you said. Real estate as my birth chart. Yes. And how will the progress be? All right. So, this is a speed reading, right? I'm just saying. So let me take a look at the natal chart here because your overall natal chart's going to set up the long-term energy. And that's just the reality. Obviously, the transits come by and give us hits now and then, but there's kind of got to be a setup here for this for you. Well, you do have a south node in the 4th house in Scorpio. Nice. You have 8 degrees on the 4th house cusp line. Nice. You have a grand water trine. Are you willing to work at this? Have you already been doing it? It can be hard with the trines for some folks because things just kind of easily occur and then they expect it all the time to be that way. So they usually, people with these grand trines, they find themselves not having to work as hard. And it's the lack of work and effort and follow through where they're like, well, what the hell? It ain't happening, man. So just keep that in mind as far as your ability to get to your goal. You do have Mars. Ooh, boss energy. You got Mars at 10 degrees in Aquarius, conjunct Neptune. That might be tricky. Mars in Aquarius is tricky all on its own. Lots of energy. It's in the 6th house. Okay, health stuff. Interesting. Change and transformation. Okay, I see the Pluto. I see Uranus at 2 degrees, money and values on a institutional level, which could be a thing for people with loans and stuff. 8 degrees on your 8th house cusp line in Pisces, Taurus at the midheaven at 8 degrees. Wow, man, that number 8, pretty big deal in your chart. Holy crap. Very intense energy. You got the Mars opposite of Jupiter. Wow. Holy smokes. That is something. So, okay, I want to see. All right, that Jupiter's trining that fifth house cusp line, and then you got your Cancer energy up there and group energy, and some of it hidden in your 12th house. Okay. Um, you've already been doing it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. I think a huge benefit is having partnership energy, Juno, professional degree. You have Mars at a professional degree, Juno and Jupiter, you have them at professional degrees. Juno and Jupiter, husband and wives. Now they are squaring in your chart, and that's absolutely okay. That means there's a communication happening. It may be exactly what you need with that grand water trine. A little bit of friction, a little bit of I need a battle, I need a mission to be on, because that is Scorpio for sure. I need a mission. Mars. The only thing I could see that might be a little tricky, and of course, this is just a quick look at this, is Mars being in opposition of that Jupiter and Jupiter being hidden in your 12th. We can be overly confident, highly dramatic with Jupiter in Leo and with it in the 12th. The very performative, oozing it on, laying the shit on thick. When we think of salespeople, right? And super over the top performative, and then Mars being at the opposition of it. So this push pull of being really assertive and shocking and surprising, a little absolutely on the rebellious side, like I don't know what that person's going to say next kind of energy. And that can be by ways of yeah, your health too, by the way, but profession and professional. And Mars gets bored too. That's the other thing about Mars, and it freaking independent. So if having a field in which you're independently taking care of something is probably really good. This energy needs physical outlets, physical challenges, typically. But this a big ass T square between these three can make the professional partnerships. Yeah, you kind of got to just be careful in terms of being overly confident with that Jupiter energy. It can bring blessings and protection. It can do all of that. And your Jupiter would be your great benefic too. So I like that for you. I think that's wonderful. But it does have this I think having the big this stress and tension, right, that you have between the Jupiter and the Mars, your midheaven and your 4th house cusp line. um, I have seen great crosses of very successful people. Like when you look at their chart and you're thinking, "Oh man, there's no way." With all these grand crosses, oh hell yeah. That means there's a connection going on. That means that you're forced to relate. You're forced to, and over time, the continuation of experiences, talking and communication, the experience wears those rough edges down, and we become quite awesome. The finesse that we develop is amazing, actually. The only thing, again, is that Mars and that Jupiter energy, to just be aware of that. Okay. But Jupiter is definitely a salesperson, but just don't go over the top on being overly confident and overly dramatic. And yeah, when the planets move a certain way in the sky, you might notice it yourself. Pay attention to your moon, especially the Virgo moon. I love Virgo moons because they can be logical and practical and keep the emotions kind of not where they're just over like flowing into us and into our being. Um, but with Virgo in the 1st house, again, another direct connection to your physical health and emotions. Okay. This is also mom energy too. So whether I make the sale, something about home and family, maybe childhood possibly comes up. And then plus the health comes up again because you have Chiron in your sixth house, Virgo energy, Chiron in the sixth. So there's just things there that have to be sorted through, but it's definitely focuses on more self energy, maybe a little bit of pride, expectations, especially professional expectations with the Chiron there, and it's in Capricorn. But Leo being the boss, it's at the Leo degree, being the boss and having wounds, maybe even challenging stuff with authority figures, because a Mars and Uranus thinks it's the damn boss, first and foremost. That's just the reality. So the fact that you've got all the squares, it might help that, but the Chiron here at the 17 can kind of have authority issues as well. But Saturn at 27, I think, is a benefit in Gemini, the talking and the communication. It just may be a little cold and rigid and even possibly overly detached at times, okay, without realizing, because you have a down to earth Mercury in Taurus. So somebody may read that, even though it's down to earth and it's calm, right? It's not dripping with emotions. Neither is the Saturn in communication, but even your moon isn't doing that. So sometimes, thankfully you have Libra in the third house, which is a communicator that can communicate beautifully, right? But you do have Pandora's box there. So it's not going to be all the time, but sometimes. So in general, overall, you have a nice foundation, I believe, that you have a nice foundation for property and definitely for talking and contracts, signing contracts and sales. I would just be aware of my Jupiter getting a little over the top of itself and a little overconfident and not allowing, just the pride. The pride would be a thing that would probably inadvertently affect your health, whether you're aware of it or not. Pride and ego. All right. So with that said, I'm moving along. All right, this is great. I'm actually running on schedule. I'm just flying through. What else is going on? Am I leaving? Are we done? Woo, healing readings. How the heck are you healing readings? Yeah, take that and go forward with it. And I'll save your chart in case you come back, or if you have other things in the future, you can always come back. And I have your name on the chart. I don't know how to pronounce it, but the number 10 is at the end. It was the same name that you had in the chat. Okay. I might have spelled it wrong though. I forgot the A at the end of it. I'll have to edit that. Oh no, I do have an A at the end. I spelled it wrong somewhere. I forgot the T-A-L-A. I see what I did wrong. I did. I forgot some stuff at the end of your name. T-A-L-A. It's reading all this fine print and these charts over time. My eyes are like trashed. I realize, yeah. Yeah, you are welcome. You have some very nice basic stuff for sales and for talking, and it's professional, it's long term. Even your Saturn is at a Mercury degree, my friend, of talking and of sales, professional, long term stuff. So that basic stuff looks good. You're welcome. Is the chart really that great? Well, hopefully you heard what I said. You've got some basic foundational things that I think are wonderful. You have a lot of strong things in your chart that point to you needing something where you're working, where you're having definite moments of working alone, for sure. 23 degrees, Uranus energy comes up a lot in your chart, other than your Mars being in Aquarius. So, and then shared values, shared money, shared energy, insurance even. Yep, that comes up big time. So yeah, I like it. I like it. I mean, I pointed out the big grand cross you have that's very strong, right? So it's not, you gotta work at it. So I don't believe in telling people whether they have a great chart or not. I mean, I know there are some charts I see because they have configurations I've never seen before. And so they're more of an excitement for myself as an astrologer, like, well, holy shit, look at this. It's not necessarily, wow, this is a great chart. This must be a great human. I never, ever, ever. To me, astrology puts us all on the same playing field. You are what you were born with, and that's it. No good, no bad. This is how you came in. This is who you are. And however you turned out, well, yeah, it's what you did with your chart. That's how I look at it. I don't like the assigning of a necessarily the good and bad, but for doing what you do, yeah, you definitely have the ability to move forward with the sales and the talking and being serious. Saturn is right there. All right, next. Donna, what's going on with you? Am I looking at you? Because I think you're the next one in line. Healing readings. Hello. Hey, what's going on? Christy, how the hell are you doing? Christy, are you at the JOB? I saw your comment earlier. Anybody else felt how intense this week has been? Last week was like that for me. Last week and the week before. Oh my God. They definitely were. But Friday of last week helped things a lot. I had a big meeting. It was, yeah, most of the intense stuff is dealing with just trying to navigate my mother's health care and that kind of stuff, which is why I got to be off of here by my deadline. So it's an hour and 10 minutes left, and then I gotta be gone. I gotta be ready for another call. But after that meeting, yeah. And then once Uranus moved into Gemini, no, things felt really fresh and new for me. Totally. My brain was different. Totally, totally, totally. It did feel like a breath of fresh air. I was so grateful for that. Oh, I sent you email for a synastry chart, but you haven't responded. For a synastry chart, yeah, somebody did send me an email for that, and there was a lot of information. And it's the same thing that I originally said, which was, if you want a reading by me, then say, yeah, I want a reading. Let's set it up. But whoever, I don't know if this was you, but it was somebody, and they sent me like a lot of information. I think it was a lot of charts, a lot of information, asking me to just like asking for my opinion, like what was my read on this chart. And it's like, well, I don't just give away what my read is. If you want a reading, then we do a reading, you see? Or you can get a free stuff like we do on here. It's either or. There's no I email you back with my opinion. You see what I'm saying? So just so people are clear, I can't do that. Like that's people stealing my knowledge, stealing the information that I have. And maybe stealing is the wrong word, but I do it this way so that other people benefit. They can hear they can see the chart, they can hear it, they can learn. But again, if you want it private, no problem. But private would be where we schedule a meeting one-on-one. Oh God. G333, the stuff with my mom. Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. She's not being looked after by family members. And so that's always a challenge. And so, yeah, it's just, yeah. There's cameras, so I see what goes on, there's that kind of thing. And it's just very complicated because she's advanced stages of Alzheimer's, and it's hard. It's just hard. She can't advocate for herself, but yet she still communicates. So it's just she is stuck between a hard area where even though she's advanced, she has a brain that was super advanced prior to this. So she's still, in some ways, if you're talking to her, like if you don't know her, you might think there's nothing wrong with her. I mean, until of course she says some really crazy shit, like that just comes out of the middle of nowhere. Then you're like, oh, okay. But prior to that, prior to the first 30 seconds in the conversation, you'd be like, wow, I wonder why this person's here. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You just go along with it. And so it's really hard because I'm trying to make sure that her dignity, her individuality, her freedom, what little bit she has left is kept intact. And so it's really hard for people working with her because they're used to, okay, if you need this level of care, then they're just trying to do everything for her. Well, she's like a bull with her head down and the horns come out when that happens. And so it's navigating that. And, where this person's a child, but they're an adult who's lived an entire life, who gave birth to 12 babies, and so it's like, you got to be real careful how you tread with her. And so, it's just hard. It's just hard. Just have to take a work call. I said, "Oh, well, I'll be here. Come on back. If tell me when you come. You're taking a call. Okay, take a call. I'll be here. Oh, you sent. Well, thank you for the gift. I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. I'm babbling. I'm babbling. Um, talking about yeah, family stuff. Okay, June. Gotcha. I got you in the software. Okay, Donna. When you come back, you let me know, and then we'll pull your chart up. I hate to bother people when they're at work. I was just trying to do readings because some people, the weekends I've been, on Saturdays, we're only live every other Saturday and everything else is private. And then we just have less time for the usual. So I thought, let's just try to get some people in when I can't get them in. It is hard. She's in the in-between. And hospice, thank God for hospice. Thank God. So grateful for hospice. They have just been, yep. That's why Friday's meeting was great because they had 2 representatives present from hospice. And so it just really made the meeting where it wasn't just me against 5 other people, which is not that I felt that it was me against them, but it was just, I just felt like I didn't have a team of 5 people with me that they had, I felt like the odds were stacked against me. But then the 2 hospice workers and me, oh no, that was plenty. That took care of it. That was absolutely all I needed. It was like perfect. So, and it was I think it was just a really good day to do the meeting astrologically. I think it went really, really well. I mean, I didn't raise my voice once. Not that I would have, but it's just really hard when you see your family, your mom, and you're like, but she's like a child. She's like an infant. Even though she's in this gigantic body, this is an infant. And I'm observing this, and that's a problem, right? So like that whole my mama bear didn't come out. At least I don't think it did. They might say different. They would probably definitely say different. But I just told them over and over, this is, she needs to be safe. That's what I'm asking for. Safety. Do you have my chart? Yes, I do. Juana. Melissa. Hey, Melissa, do I have your digits? Anybody who's just popping on or popping in and out, which I don't think is too many people. I think the chats, well, you never know. The freaking stuff aligning up in the sky and everything, it's making it all tricky. I've been having problems with the devices and having to do things over 2 or 3 times. So I figured, well, that's okay. We'll go live. If somebody needs it, we can do it. If not, not a problem. I have like a lot of work I have to get done. Yeah. Yeah, Donna, let me get your chart up here. You're in the system. Let's see here. Yeah, it's supposed to be alphabetized, but for some weird reason, there it is. Okay, it's like in reverse. I think I have to select reverse. Yeah, let's try that and see what happens. See if that's easier. Yeah, okay. Yeah, hospice is amazing. They definitely are. Oh, Owl said, I managed my time. I didn't see this. I managed to narrow down my time of birth. I asked my mother, and she's sure that I was born during the night. Oh. Really? So right now we have your chart as a noon hour chart. Is the owl still here? I'm probably talking to myself. But owl, if you're listening, during the night. So does that mean the sun went down, but it was before midnight? Does that mean it was after midnight? And so it was like between midnight and 6 a.m.? Otherwise, I would still keep it at the noon hour. Um, yeah, this is where it gets tricky. So maybe you're thinking it's like from midnight to 6 and then pick like, I don't know. No, I wouldn't want to assume. Yeah, I wouldn't want to assume. I'd want you to give me a little bit more information before I would change your birth time. Yep. Yeah, it is tricky. The thing that's been so tricky too is that um I really don't want to say the word assume. That's what I was about to say, but it was based on the things that they said that they could, how they assist people like that, how they actually can help them, right? But the reality is once you start paying attention, you're like, not that again, this overall the place has been decent, and she absolutely loves where she's at. Like she's really happy. She's really happy. So I love that for her. But you just see really simple things that should be being done that are being ignored or not being done. But if those aren't done, it could turn into really big things, like really big problems, like somebody could fall and get hurt. So it's stuff like that where it's like, why would you not pay attention to that? That's freaky and dangerous. And why do I have to tell you that? Why do I feel that I have to talk about that with you guys? Like, that's your job. So it's just things like that that make it hard. And then where I feel like I'm being just nitpicky or focusing on the details of what their job is. And it's like watching a baby on the top step. You remember when a baby's crawling and then starts walking and they're on the top step and you're like, oh shit, someone grabbed the baby. They're about to topple over, so I see those scenarios and I'm like, oh my God, hell no. Preventive, like, what do you do when that happens, right? You put up like a baby gate. You do things to make sure that you're keeping the child out of harm's way. It's one thing for a child to fall. It's a whole nother thing when they tumble down 8 flights of steps. You don't want that to happen, you know? And again, she's not in danger in that way, but it's just stuff like that where, hello, can you please take some extra steps? And this way she definitely will be safer. And the thing is, these were steps that PT had taught us and taught her for years. And so when it doesn't happen, then it's just really frustrating. All right. So with all that said now, is Donna here yet? Donna, are you here? Otherwise, I'm like, well, I guess I got to hang out. Did Donna say she sent a gift? I don't want to leave if she did send a gift. All right. We're going to hang out then because Donna has said she's coming back. Well, how about this then? I can utilize time. So, yeah. All right, we're waiting on Donna to return. In the meantime, how about the energetics? How about the belief that there is no past? There is no past life. How about that conversation? Anybody get words for that? There is no past life. All we really truly have is right here, right now in front of us, the current moment. Like as I'm breathing and speaking, that is all there is. Not that what happened yesterday didn't happen. It did happen, and we still carry it in our mind. But what about the talk of all the past life stuff? and all the residual energy that we carry, or even the residual energy that we carry from maybe childhood, right? We can all think of, oh God, I wish childhood had been different. I wish this hadn't happened, wish that hadn't happened. Or if it had been different, if my parents had done this, that kind of stuff. Um, that residual energy that we carry. But what do you think? Do you believe in the idea? Because we talk about past lives a lot, especially when people believe in reincarnations of, yeah, I'm be coming back. So that means I've had other lifetimes if I'm coming back again. Or the multi-life, right? We are like these beings that have multi-lives in the present simultaneously, that we don't have, we're not living a horizontal reality any longer, but that we are now living a vertical reality. Any thoughts? Anyone? Anyone? Or the idea that the thoughts that we have, we may think that they're from the past. People teach us to talk about them like, oh, well, that's residual energy from the past. But that's the future that has not yet come. What do you think? Any thoughts? Anyone? Hello, Ireland. Hide and seek. I like that. Hide and seek. I like that. I like that. What's going on, hide and seek from Ireland? What time is it there? I'm in the US, and let me always start off by saying to every person who doesn't live in the US, I give them a great big apology and a hug. Seriously. Because although it seems like this whole country has lost its damn mind, there is a very good majority of us who have not lost our minds and who are agreeing with the rest of the world of how insane things are. And we are just like, holy crap. And so my apologies. All right, Donna's back. Donna's laughing. Donna, I was waiting for you. I got your chart. Let's get you up here. You sent a channel gift so we can get you in here. You're working, so we won't give you the link. Unless you just left work and you want the link. But yeah, let's get your chart on the screen. Let's get this chart up here. Let me check your email. You sent a gift, but what am I looking at? What am I focusing on? You know what, Donna? I don't think I've looked at your Vedic chart, have I? Although you might have something else you're looking at. Or that you have a concern about. But yeah, I should probably do that. I think I sent it to you. I don't know. Woohoo, no link. Okay, no, it's totally good. Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. She says, woohoo, no link. Got you. What's going on for me generally? Okay. Well, your mind and busy, because Uranus is now conjunct your Mars, lady. So this would be your body as well, especially since it's in the first house as well. Your physical body. So we can feel a little bit more frazzled than normal. And maybe that's what Christy was talking about. I'm not sure. Christy mentioned something. I couldn't remember. She used the word intense, but the nerves in our body, we can feel a little bit more frazzled. Mars at 3 degrees, the mind energy is really big here. It gets amped up even more. But the question is, how would it affect somebody's health? It could possibly, we might even notice, because you've got something at 2 degrees in Virgo over here. And Virgo is like our digestion. You talk to any Virgo and they'll be like, oh God, yeah. So, anything with the gastrointestinal and all that kind of stuff. There just might be things that the Uranian energy kind of brings to our attention. Like, it could be anything. It could be anything from I'm eating a food that never really bothered me before and I'm eating it now. And suddenly I'm like, oh, like, God, why does my stomach feel kind of weird? Or yeah, just, I know that when Uranus first got into Gemini, my gut Now remember, the Uranus just came out of retrograde, but my gut, when Uranus first went into it, it felt like I had like, I don't know, like it was not cramping, but I don't know how to explain it. Like a little bit of almost like a burning sensation or something. Wasn't really bad, but it was annoying as hell. It was so annoying. I was like, what the hell is this? And then I went and read Barbara. Oh, I was listening to some Barbara videos and I was reading some other books at the time and cross-referencing their information. Yeah, I was able to realize that I had low stomach acid. I had the blood type that produced not enough stomach acid. And in her book, she gives you a very simple, or in her teachings, a very simple remedy. And it worked like that. But, you kind of have to stick with it until everything's really cleared, until you don't have those issues any longer. But anyway, you don't have to go and take any drugs. So for you, there just might be, that's an example, might be a little something like that. On the flip side of that, it's amping up stuff because you also have something at 2 degrees. Now, these 2 degrees energies, again, because it's 2, it can be money and it can be values and desires, can be food as well. Also in your 6th house of health. You have something right there at 2. So Uranus is already talking to these. One is a square, one is a trine. The square was the one where I said there might be stuff with health, right? Can be work thing and daily work routines, the details, getting bogged down by them or having a ton of them, or, seeing more details than you've ever seen before, things that you might have skipped over before because your brain's got such a high level of curiosity now. Maybe it's like, oh, it kind of jumps out like a lightning bolt because that's Uranus energy. It will bring information and thoughts and like flashes of insight. That's Uranian energy. Okay, so the angle up to the Virgo, yeah, money, values, love, desire, and could be food. But the trine to that is to your Libra energy of relationships and partnerships and contracts. Can be desires, but diplomacy and fairness and equality. And you have Merlin here at 2 degrees. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. I probably have never read it. Merlin, I just started charting, I don't know, maybe a month or 2 ago. Your Merlin and your Mars are a nice trine to each other. Yep, they're a nice trine to each other. You also have Isis at 4 degrees in Gemini. So this is all trine energy, and Uranus is connecting it all right now. So this is important because the Isis is speaks to it's feminine energy. It can kind of be a rebirth energy, something that was forgotten about or even supposedly dead or died. We kind of bring it back to life because that's what Isis did. Literally, she brought her husband, her brother. Anyway, it's weird. Anyway, she brought somebody back to life. So it does have a creative, kind of a mother type of I can give you life type of energy. And it's at the mom degree. So this talks about home and family, mother qualities, childhood. And because it's Cancer, it's usually a reflection of the past. So emotions and connecting with that. But a nice trine to Merlin. And Merlin talks about a feeling of guilt or responsibility for something that went wrong. Now, I want you to keep in mind that Uranus is connecting with this. So Uranus opens up our consciousness. It will bring something to our consciousness, some insight we didn't have before. Okay. And Merlin is like, holy shit, I'm supposed to know all things because I'm Merlin. And so Merlin then feels bad because it couldn't foresee something that possibly it should have been able to foresee. Okay, that's just the definition. I'm reading it from the software. I'm not telling you there's a bad thing coming. I'm just saying that it can be an outcome, or even for somebody who might give advice and feel like they should have given different advice. So a guilt or even possibly a regret in information that we're sharing. But it talks about an altered state of consciousness, which is that event, whenever it happens. It usually brings about an altered state of consciousness because we have that awareness of, oh, now I see it. It might be, it's kind of obvious right at this moment, but maybe why didn't I see that before? Why didn't I understand that? So in short, it's looking for answers in non-traditional or even in occult areas. And at the 2 degrees, desires, money, love. It is feminine energy and partnerships. And in your 6th house, it can have to do with work, day-to-day routines, but this is also domestic energy, and this is also health. So the health of work, the health of your coworkers and those relationships, especially feminine energy, females, but also people we live with, right? Domestic energy and partnerships, professional partnerships and marriage, because that's Libra energy. So if I were to go and look at your Venus, she's at 27, communication and talking, Gemini energy, right on your 3rd house cusp line. Okay, so there's some information that this Merlin is connected to, some information where Venus goes over it. She rethinks through her values. She goes over conversations in her head. Remember, this is the social media stuff too. I know that's a big thing for you. And so that might be a thing, but it just might mean that there's things you're realizing might not be as wonderful. Meaning it could be certain relationships. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Woohoo. Certain relationships or even social media sites, places where you feel like, God, I wasted time doing this or that. Possibly, right? Possibly. It doesn't mean that's the case. It's just a reprioritizing and reevaluation. It could just simply mean, well, that worked great then, but now because other things have changed in my life, I'm doing things differently or I'm switching things up. At the end of the day, it's Gemini. So it says you're going to be flexible, remaining flexible. That's the key here, is the Gemini energy. And sharing information and networking. Okay. That's the big key. So you want to know what's going on. That's it. Uranus is triggering that. And you don't have anything in your 10th house in air for the trigger from Uranian energy. Everything is by transit. So we're not going to look at that. But as far as maybe some other angles that Uranus is throwing, we already talked about the Virgo, but across the street from Virgo, that 4 degrees comes up again in Pisces because Gemini squares Pisces. So maybe you're thinking, gee, everything's kind of okay right now, which it can be still even when Uranus moves to 1 degrees. So when Uranus moves to 1 degrees is when, from now until then, it's going to get higher in numbers. It doesn't reach the 1 degree until the mid part of May. Okay. And then things might start to click even more, right? Which is an authority figure, boss energy, maybe feminine energy. There's some sort of a structure and a routine, a regulation. Uranus switches things up. There might be a surprise. God, this sounds familiar. I think I've already read this, but that's what jumped out, and it's Uranian energy. So let me do this. Let me backtrack because I don't want to repeat things you've heard before. And that I know you're already kind of aware of all that. Of a switcheroo and maybe some authority figure stuff at the job. Venus is now on your 2nd house cusp line of income and money and values. Venus is your great benefic. She's here at 5 degrees. So communications and partnerships, Venus can bring gifts, but she's flexible. You got to remember that with your Venus. Being flexible in the communication style, in the way that I think, this will reap you the most benefits, is your flexibility, your adaptability, your ability to pivot in terms of people that are important to you, relationships, coworkers, neighbors, siblings, peers, and of course, the social media stuff. So as Venus goes through your 2nd house, and I'm going to give you a timeline on this because she's your great benefic, this should be a grand time, even in your local community, like where you live. Okay. People bringing gifts. Venus loves food. And we think of her in the garden having some grapes. We think of her having a sip of wine, all comfy, maybe getting a massage and some pampering going on. But Gemini's within my local community, talking, relating, just like the barter and trade thing happening even as well, because it's the finances, Venus. So she's going to be going through that 2nd house. And her timeline, I think she's only got a few weeks working with your 2nd house. So from now until mid-May, look at that, until mid-May. Yeah, I'm trying to get the date narrowed. May 16th. Yeah, exactly, mid-May. And so that's a time where you're sharing the Venus love. You're learning about how it is that you receive and how others are giving to you and maybe changing what it is as far as like what you would call your love language and how you're going to share it with others and in what way, because the Venus energy in Gemini and your Mercury being right next to it, communication is freaking huge for you. So whether giving messages, receiving messages, readings by Donna, doing readings, there might be some sort of a generosity where Venus feels, well, yeah, this is my day to receive or my weeks to receive from now until May 16th. It might be time for maybe I throw a little freebie in there or something where Venus is, spreading around the love, like gifting it forward type of thing. It'll just be you having different options and choices and decisions and being flexible, okay, in terms of who and what you value. But let me remind you, neighbors, for wherever you live, this is part of this too. And I don't mean just like in the business district, because that definitely is Gemini, but literally like my next door neighbors. I know when Mars started going through the Gemini energy, oh my God. For the Gemini area in my chart, the neighborhood just like came alive. It was like kids up and down the street, super loud, like with their now everybody's got one of these electric things. Nobody rides a freaking silent bike anymore, right? I don't know if that's how it is by you guys, but now remember how silent, you never knew how silent bikes were, right? Where we had our feet in the pedals. Now everybody's got some shit that's electrified or running on gas. Nobody's pumping it with their own goddamn energy. And all of those make noise. And it's like, oh my God. So I remember that. And I was like, what a freaking, I love my little peace and quiet. And I was like, okay, I'm closing this window because it makes recording videos very difficult as well. But it did annoy the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. The other thing too, your nodes jumping out, your South Node in Capricorn. I don't know why that just jumped out. Your South Node in Capricorn, your long-term goals, what you have planned for your future. You have a superpower here with money and values and building for the future. This is big in your chart because it's a South Node, which means like boss energy. I've always been the boss. I've always gotten the recognition. And so now the recognition, that's normally when somebody has their South Node in Capricorn, the opposite of the energy is what the soul is trying to work on. You follow? So it talks about qualities of warmth and intuition and emotional depth, but it also speaks of taking a role of being the nurturer and the protector and talking about the foundations of love and belonging, but more about not being the one who's getting the recognition, because that was the Capricorn energy. It was more about getting that recognition, where this is it's really a big focus on honoring of relationships, of building closer personal relationships, creating warmth and a supportive home environment, and learning to trust my intuition deeply, honoring feelings, permission to be vulnerable, which opens the way for more genuine connections and conversations with other. So it is really asking you to remember that although we need the material and the tangible to move forward, I struggle with this all the time. I get it. But we kind of always have to reconnect with what our soul's goal is and remind ourselves, especially if we get stressed out. Like, don't worry about all that hot mess. You're actually here for this. It's your personality that wants the recognition and the building of the finances, the material, and the long-term security. The shit you can't take with you once you die anyway. Your soul's actually here to build connections, to be supportive in those connections. And at that degree, yeah, feminine energy is strong. But it's like mom nurturing energy. So whether we use the nurturing for food, whether we use it by giving gifts, right? However it is, being there for family and kind of having that strong mother type of energy, that's part of your soul's goal. Building personal relationships, period. Sunset, everyone is out. Oh, yeah, let me show you the Vedic then. Yeah, because both are relevant. Both are relevant, absolutely. I never, any astrology system, I don't tell people, hey, that's wrong. It's up to the astrologer to use what works for them. Oh, I do have it for you, Donna. So I drew it up. Maybe I sent it to you, but here it is. I'm so glad I have it made, that it's for you and it's already made. That was fast. So on this chart, and maybe this resonates with you. I know it, for some folks, it doesn't change their ascendant. It changed your ascendant. This chart is showing you an Aries rising at 12 degrees. Interesting, right? Because Aries is a leader, likes to initiate, needs a mission. 12 degrees, that's a spiritual stuff. 12th house. Yep, so a spiritual leader. But it's number 12 is also like healing institution energy. But being the pioneer, even Aries, being the pioneer. And so your Venus and your Mercury are still in Gemini at 1 and 3 degrees this way. And your third house cusp line is at 4 degrees. So right now, then, that means, well, we got to go to the Vedic astrology too. But coworker energy is where Uranus in the sky is lighting up for you, and neighbors. But yeah, the social media thing. And surprises, because that's Uranian energy. Hi. Shocks and surprises. New and different. But I gotta believe, Donna, that for you, the additional Uranian energy to your Gemini stuff with Mercury there and your Venus right there, like currently right now. So it can be disruptions in the community. It can be disruptions with your own siblings. Okay, hold on. I got a kitty cat. But also the brain. Have you been having flashes of insight and intuition? Because Uranus at 0 is on your Mercury, technically. Come on. Come on. I need one hand to do charts, girly. I got a cat that wants me to pick her up. And she gets really pissed if I don't. Yeah, she just gets really impatient. If she doesn't feel both of my hands on her body, she walks away. And it's like, okay, this thing. So where is your moon in this new chart? Let's clear this away real quick and then we'll. Yeah, you have a Scorpio moon. Oh God, the healer. Holy crap. You know, you can't escape this healing business if you wanted to. You just can't. And then even your Uranian energy is at 13 in Leo in here. Interesting. Oh. Okay. Independent, a lot of strong independent energy, but 13 is more Aries degrees. Wow. Okay, you have the nodes in this chart at 8 degrees. I don't know if you saw this. North and South node, they're at 8. And your node, this node puts it in the 3rd house. Yeah. So again, healing, change, transformation, deep, intense trauma, tragedies, the mind and the communication, but using social media, but transforming energy, taking the wounds of the past for self, for others, even by just your words, actually, even by just your words. And that's the thing, right? What's the teaching? What's the new thing that's coming online now, especially with Uranus at 0? What's the new thing coming online? The group power, the group mind. Now, I hate using those words, right? Because I used to love watching Star Trek, and I just don't watch any television or any stuff anymore. But I used to freaking, if there was anything I loved, it was that. Any kind of Star, like I loved all that stuff. And like the next generation, you remember the Borg, right? So they were one mind, right? All these different machines or whatever, and they were the and this. So in a way, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good. We don't want that. No, this isn't that. This is more about our intuitive bodies coming online, right? And intuiting and being able to relate and communicate and understanding each other's energetics, like communicating and relating in an energetic way, right? I think that's a big, and the energy, right? I think that's a huge thing with Uranus going through Gemini energy and making those connections. And so, in that way, that group power, that group energy, of realizing we are all one, we are all linked up. But yeah, the healing number in this chart is big for you. And now Jupiter at 22, boss energy in this chart, and you're the leader again, not only the leader, but the boss. Yeah, 22 degrees, Aries energy. That's in your first house, by the way. So if you have Jupiter in your first house, I'm going to click on this real quick for you because I know this is I can't remember if I looked at this for you or not, but we're going to go ahead and float over to there. Let me get the Vedic stuff up on here so that we can see how that looks. Okay. So we've got, Sirius just passed over your Jupiter. Okay, so Sirius is the grain and the food and the effects of it on our body. Right now, Sirius is at 23. So this means there might be some surprises, which means because it's unconventional, it's different, it's new. So maybe it's different choices in the way I'm eating. That can be the 23 degrees, something new and different. It can also be the body responding to whatever we used to eat that all of a sudden it's bothering me and it never did before. So we change up things, but because it's at 23, that might have been a thing in the past for you because your Jupiter's at 22. So that might have been something that got your attention a little while back. So right now, Uranus at 5. And I'm just checking to see Uranus. Yes, they have Uranus and Taurus. And I just want to double check some things. So that's your Regulus. All right. So Uranus is going to get higher up. And it will connect with the south node that you have up there. And your south node in this chart is your superpower, is your spiritual power and the healing ability. Yeah, you have this in your 9th house, which is it's part of a deep spiritual system. So it's part of like tradition, whatever that is for you, for your family, your spirit, whatever you understand your tradition and your ancestry to be connected to. There's healing and nurturing that work together that you have history with. And it's really an internal thing for yourself as well, because you've got them in a retrograde. But again, in the 9th house, it's connecting to something traditional, religion, spirituality. It's unity and oneness, that's for certain. So it can include earth energy because it's Sagittarius, but also off the planet energy. Sometimes we don't talk about that. At least I know I usually never do. But with Uranus now and where it's located, it's a reality. We cannot not talk about it. But for you, in this timeline, I'm going to move this Uranus forward. Yeah, this could be an event that you're feeling now, but I think if it's not, work again comes up. Work again. Uranus will be at 6 and you'll be feeling this. It'll be talking to your Sirius and to your south node. So your beliefs about the future. Work is connected to that. And work routines, things might be switching up. God, it's so weird that this is kind of telling me the same thing that the other, even though I was trying to get away from this. Okay, so it can be an authority figure. It can be money and values and income. Let me see some other stuff here. Trying to just see if we can get some different looks at this. Uranus is going to get close to your north node. of relating and communications. And it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if okay, so there it is at 7, which is your sun, which is your north node. And I'm just wondering, this might, because Uranus energy wants to be independent. And so sometimes when people want to be independent, they tend to break away. And you see, you'll have a north node on your Saturn at this time. So whether you see it as a time, well, this would be like right around the corner, though. This is May in this chart, in this Vedic chart. This shows the north node of Uranus energy of I got to be free. It is boss energy, though. I got to be free and I need to break away from work on your Saturn. So I don't know if you're thinking of doing that breakaway energy this fast, this soon. I didn't think you were, but that means that there just might be something that you feel, maybe you're taking on more responsibility and you really don't want that. And you feel like you need to be free. Freedom is a big word. Independent is a really big word with that Uranus energy. So the date on this is we're like the last week of May. And you'll probably start feeling it before then, but it's showing it really big here at this time. It's really strong. Yes, kitty cat. I know. I know. So it's time for you to leave behind your past inhibitions and truly express yourself in this lifetime. I'm just going to read to you what they're saying. You're going to find events in your life kind of force you to come to terms with your identity in order to express your fullest potential. You may feel that your private life, your family, and your home are demanding your full attention, but you do need to express yourself through your profession or a public group. So you feel like you're being pulled, right? Between either or. They're both demanding. You may have a message which needs to be heard by many people, not just by your own family group. This cat is tapping me on the chest. Yes. Come on. Come on. Are you coming up? Okay, come on. It's okay. You can sit there, but I can't give you both hands. Okay? You can just sit. If you can just sit, we'll be fine. But I need the other hand. So that's what it says on here. Okay? This is again, like the last week, and you might on this day, I have May 24th, 25th, 26th, because Mars is like at 11 degrees then, which amps up the Uranus energy. Okay? It amps it up really strong. So, Mars needing a mission and Mars will be training your natal Uranus at this time in this Vedic chart as well. I will add that it's in your 5th house, though. Children, fun, romance, joy, and creativity. Okay. So there might be a little something there, which can just be having a good time and taking action because I need to get away. It could be that. And you've shared in the past that you have your moments where you like to get away. So it could be that where you're like, let's hit the road, Jack. I need to be free. Might be a little bit of something like that. But this does show Saturn on your Eris. And Eris is usually angry energy. Like she feels something's been happening and she's been verbal, but she's never had a place at the table. So she's usually kind of on the feisty side. And your Eris is in Pisces in this chart, so I'm not overly concerned. Most of us have our Eris and Aries, which is super feisty energy, but the Saturn is there, you see? So this means like the boss and the workload, the responsibilities and the duty is heavy on her. Okay? So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully it gives you a little bit of a sense of preparation even. There she goes. She's like, if you don't give me 2 hands, I'm out of here. And I'm like, oh no, please don't go. Don't go. No. Oh, okay. I flipped back to the thing, Donna. Oh, I never sent it. Would you like me to send it to you? I mean, some people don't want to see it because it's just, it's another round chart with a lot of stuff on it. It's, it's a lot. And I understand that. But not knowing who or what the warnings are. Okay. Yes, very independent. Yeah, Taffy. Taffy is so not like that. She's just not, but Zoe is. She wants to be pampered and she wants both of my hands on her. Like, if I don't put both of my hands on her, she's like, "You're gypping me, damn it. I'll come back another time." Okay. So yeah, okay, have had food. Yeah, you see in this chart. Oh, where'd it go? Let me back it up to now. See Sirius right there at 23? It's in Aries in the body. And see Jupiter's there at 22. What this means is that this Jupiter's in your first house on this chart, which is the body even more. It's just an extra emphasis on body because first house is body, Aries is body, head as well. But Sirius would have been there. Let me go back a week. So yet she was at 20 degrees a week ago, which would have been, she was conjunct Jupiter then. So if you had noticed anything, Jupiter would really make sure that you notice it because that's its job. It exaggerates whatever it is that it's around. So it would have exaggerated, something that I've eaten before and had no problems with, or yeah, just who the hell knows, just different things with food. It could even have been an increase on needing to nurture myself with food. It could have done that as well, because that's what this symbol is right here. That looks like a question mark. It's how we nurture ourselves. And we think of childhood and we think of mom and breastfeeding, but when we're adults, where's the bag of chocolate, damn it? I don't want no milk. Bring me the chocolate. Or whatever is your pleasure, everyone's got their little thing, whatever that is. Some people it's movies. I had a friend who was like, "Oh, I don't do any, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm not excessive with food at all." And I was like, God, oh, that would be nice, not to have cravings, never to want to have this or that. He's like, "But my addiction is movies." And he truly was. Like every day he'd watch a movie before work, and he started work. He'd have to be out the door for work by 8:30. And so he would get in a full movie before work. A movie. Like you're sitting down and you're just focused in on that movie. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I know some people do that, but I thought he was joking, and then like on break, he's watching a movie. When he comes home, he's watching a movie. Like if you're in the house with him, that's what he's doing. His head is stuck in the movies. And it's like, oh, so you don't talk, you watch movies. That gets old really fast. Especially when, to me, watching movies is a waste of my time. Like I only do it like if I'm sick, and I can't move, right? It's something I'm stuck in bed anyway, right? And I got to feel really ill if I'm doing that. And so everybody's different. But yeah, it just is how we're nurturing ourselves. And it could have been with sound because Jupiter can be sound. It can be really creative energy. But yeah, conjunct Sirius, it can definitely be food. And Jupiter can be wine for sure. Jupiter can be wine. Yeah. All right. And then the other thing too that's important is, and maybe not for you, but for me, is that the Vedic Jupiter is at 23 degrees. You see this? Yeah. So there would have been some things that occurred for you then where that Vedic Jupiter, if I were to have pushed this back, see, we got to make sure we do this more often with this Vedic. This Vedic Jupiter would have been communicating with your natal Jupiter starting a month ago, March 21st. Yeah, it would have been direct contact. And this would have been information, and maybe it was some big information possibly, because it was at 21 degrees then. But since that time, Jupiter talking to Jupiter, interesting information about my body, and the head, something with the head possibly. And at 22 degrees, oh, material, tangible. So whatever it is, it might be visual. You might be able to see it, but it's material, tangible, something with the skin possibly. Ah, okay. Oh, we're learning all sorts of shit here, aren't we? Look at that. Oh, I don't do wine, but I wine. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't I don't whine, but I do whine. I totally get it. I get it. Jupiter, that's right. Jupiter, it can do that. It can. Yeah. So in your Vedic chart, yeah, it can do that. Jupiter is a quick mover. Now, here's the thing though. Let me pull this other chart away so that we're aware. This is your birth chart. So this doesn't change in your Vedic chart. This is your birth chart. So this could mean, this could mean definitely depending upon other cycles that you're going through. For some folks, there absolutely could be an increase in their appearance for sure. There could be with the Jupiter there. Because this would be an underlying, just a strong energy that's always there. Now it's in Aries, so I think you're very fortunate. I mean, that could have been Jupiter in Taurus, right? That could have been Jupiter in, it could have been Jupiter. Shit. I think Jupiter in Aries is pretty good to have because Aries is normally like this trim, fit, athletic kind of a build to it. Mm-hmm. Yep. But when other things line up in the air, there are times where that could definitely make it look like it's, oh shit, what's going on? So that can be that underlying other thing that I think you were kind of saying, hey, what the hell's going on here? So this Jupiter will get out of this air and it will go into Cancer energy in this Vedic chart. So that's a couple months away. Yeah. And we'll see how that changes the energy for you. So, I mean, that's going to change in the beginning of June. That means you'll have cardinal energy squaring cardinal energy. So maybe that will create enough friction where you're like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of some stuff. Rashes. Gotcha. Well, the skin. Saturn is the skin, and 22 degrees is Saturn. And you have that in that Vedic. Yep. If you take that off of there, right there. And Jupiter, of course. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad that for you. Oh, here's, this Jupiter. Okay. So it's an opposition of the Neptune energy. Okay. Well, sometimes when the Neptune energy is present, there's things we can look. Like if we go to the astrology stuff and look up Neptune and see what's Neptune rule kind of thing. But it's in Libra energy. And some say like the Libra energy at the opposition there, that would rule like body parts that come in pairs. I know that's really vague. That could be eyeballs, that can be nose, that can be arms, that can be lungs, right? I think there's more specific stuff out there. That's a really an overgeneralization. But eyes probably would be big because Neptune rules the eyes. And then Libran, well, we have two eyes. We don't have just one, right? So that might be a thing. I don't know. Perceptions, possibly even perceptions of self, but how we see ourselves. And so that could be a thing because Neptune can be a little looking through the rose-colored glasses. So possibly we see ourselves differently than we actually are. Possibly, believe it or not, there are people who are walking around where we're like, God, I'd kill for that body. And these individuals, some of these people really feel like that they're overweight, that they hate their body. I'm not saying this is you, but I'm just saying sometimes perception is a real thing. Some people really struggle with that. It's like they don't, when they look in the mirror, they just see something different, right? I don't know. Yeah. I know mine's all reals. What I look in the mirror, I'm like, yep, because I look at the sizes, okay, and I know what my ass fits into or what it doesn't fit into. So I don't know how other people could possibly fit into a 6 and be like, God, I'm just so overweight. What? I mean, yeah, that could never be me. I know for myself, if I were to get down to, oh, holy shit, there's a size. And I've been there before and I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I don't like myself at this. Like I literally don't like myself at this number. I don't like it. There's things about it where I'm like, I don't like this at all. And so it's it's just I know it's not yeah, I just didn't like it. And maybe that's a thing I have with myself. Maybe looking in the mirror, it's my own sense of looking at that and being like, "Huh, I don't like what I see, but am I healthy?" Maybe that doesn't necessarily always mean the same thing or match up. So it's stuff in the brain and the perceptions. And so maybe who knows. Okay, Donna, take care. Yep, you take care. Thank you for the channel gift. Thank you so much. All right. So we are about to go. We got 3:46. We got 10 minutes left exactly because I have to be on another call right after this. So let me see if there's anything else to chat with. Otherwise, we're going to sign off. Hey, Gemini Rising, how the hell are you doing? How have you been? I got a few minutes left to chit chat with you. How have you been? How has life been treating you? Oh, let me get Donna off of there. I forgot. Yeah, Donna's at work. Yeah. I'm reading some of her stuff there. Okay. All right. So this is it. In the future, for anybody that looks and wants a reading, okay, typically Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Time on the channel. Okay. We're live the first and third Saturday of every month. And lately, I've been able to do the live streams in addition to on the Tuesdays because we just don't have time to get to everybody. Okay. So on Tuesdays, like I am here today, I try to come on like by 2:00. Sometimes I might come on earlier. It just depends on how the day is going and what my schedule is. I try to get it done. So this can all just be smooth. I only have the cats in the house with me. If I get much later, then there's other folks in the house and yeah, things get crazy. So yeah, come by Saturday nights. We also do astrology classes. Astrology private classes are done the second Saturday of every month. Doesn't matter where you are in astrology. Doesn't matter what level you can pop on. You could take it as a refresher. But even the astrology level that we're at, we discuss things. There are other people who know a lot about astrology who ask questions while they're using a refresher. We combine it all together. And the people who are new, it's okay. They take notes. They understand it's something that'll make sense to them later on. So it's not a big deal. But we do definitely cover some of the basics. While if you look at my charts, they're really loaded. So it's actually, I think there's a lot for everybody. I think there's a lot to offer for everybody, regardless of their level. My Lauren had a baby boy, first boy out of 5. Wow. My Lauren had a baby boy, first boy out of 5 grandkids. Wow. Her first child was a boy. Wow. Well, he'll keep her young. Right? Right? I mean, boys are so different than girls, right? It's like, oh my God, can I keep up? But I could really be speaking out of turn on that because I haven't had to raise babies in a very long time. And yeah, the energy of these little ones coming in is so very different. Like a good example, a friend of mine, her son is 10 years old, 9 or 10. His favorite color is pink, which I love, right? I think that's great. But he's got pink shoes, he's got pink clothing. He loves it and he wears it, which is great. But I thinking back to when it was, when I was helping to raise babies or even when I was growing up and it was like if a boy wore pink, holy crap. Right? I mean, remember when a man would wear pink, all the rate would be like, Oh, he's wearing pink. Like it was a big ass deal that somebody has a favorite color that only Barbie can be, it was like, so I love it that this 10-year-old boy loves pink and he's out there fishing in his pink shorts. You know what I'm saying? He's out there riding his little 3 or 4 wheeler in his pink shorts with his pink little whatever the hell kind of shoes those are. And it's like, I love it. I love it because it's just like break the goddamn stereotypes, break those old forms. Like they're so limiting, so freaking limiting and obsolete. And so I love that. Absolutely love it. Yes, it's good to see you too, Gemini. Oh, his Jupiter. His Jupiter's on my Cancer moon. He loves me. I'm sure. Oh, oh, he's fortunate. Oh, wow. Well, I got to think that's probably got to be a thing for you too. That's got to be a nice thing for you as well. There's something about that connection with the male energy and being able to, because I think you only ever had daughters, right? I think you have more than one daughter. It's been a while. But yeah, it's a new dynamic, but yet it can there's like a dynamic with the family line there, with that Cancer energy and the history. Gotta love it. Wow. Right. Okay. So yeah, just girls. 2 girls. Okay. So very different. Different for everybody involved. That's great. That's so great. And how old is he? Because I mean, God, I haven't seen you in a while. I mean, life has changed, right? I can't remember the last time I saw you. It's been a minute. On the Saturday night live streams, it has been a minute. Bree says, can you please discuss Uranus? Oh, what's the rest of her question? It just says Uranus. Uranus is squaring something, squaring. Let's click on this. It's not showing me your whole comment. Could you please discuss Uranus square the ascendant? Okay, we kind of were talking about this a little bit. No, that's okay. I'm about to end. I got to end at 4:00 anyway, Donna. You're fine. I see your comment all of a sudden. 5 months old. Woohoo! Wow. All right. So I see it now, Bree. So Uranus is new and different, but it's also authority figure. Who's the authority of your life? So if you've got Uranus squaring your ascendant, you may feel like you need to create some distance, some separation, because your freedom is being infringed upon. Your ascendant is your body. And Uranian energy, when it angles it, it can create stress and tension. Okay. Now, if it's Uranus itself, you might see it show up as older people in your life. It could even be younger people. But usually we say authority figures, whether it's a boss or a parent or whoever the hell has authority, in any sort of a scenario. Cop pulls you over and kind of acts like he has the authority. Well, he does on the street and the law, right? So, yeah, square ascendant, stress and tension. The degree, what's the degree of your ascendant? What's the degree of the Uranus? Like that will give more details of how that energy shows up. And then, of course, the sign that it's in. 17 pounds. Wow. Bree, are you saying they're at 0 degrees? Oh, you're saying Uranus is right now at 0, squaring your ascendant at 0. What is your rising? Are you a Virgo? Are you a Pisces? I took custody of my 15-year-old granddaughter. Oh my God, you have a full house, Gemini. You have a full house. Holy crap. Virgo. Okay. Yeah. Well, this could affect You might also notice it affecting your health. If you're a Virgo rising, I was just talking about this at the start of the live stream, that things that you ate before that didn't bother you might suddenly bother you, because the Uranian energy can be like the nerves in our body. And so we can get easily frazzled. And so whatever we're going through, if there's stress, right? Especially if we're talking or reading something or having a conversation while we're eating, like we might need to be more careful of our health routines and things that keep our health healthy. Whatever those best practices are for you. But Virgo's definitely usually the gut and the digestion is normally Virgo energy. And so there can be some little little surprises maybe sometimes with the Uranian energy. And I know when Uranus was at 29 degrees of Taurus, just starting like a month ago, I started noticing my gut getting really sensitive again, which never happened before ever in my life. I mean, ever, at least not that I can recall. It happened the previous year when Uranus literally went to 0 degrees Gemini and then retrograded out. That's when I first noticed it. And I was like, what the hell is this shit? I've never had where I'm eating something and all of a sudden I have like pain in my stomach. And I mean, literally seconds after I've eaten it. I'm like, what the hell? And it would be just like my normal, this is what I eat. It wasn't like I had something new or somebody else served it. Maybe I got like food poisoning. There was none of that at all. It was just like an uncomfortableness in my gut. And anyway, I did some research and reading and blah, 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 and realized I have low hydrochloric acid in my gut. Like I don't have a lot. And anyway, so there's a whole story of how you can deplete that. Now, of course, I had gone through all that, but I didn't realize it was depleted in me. And so this brought this to my awareness. And so there's easy ways to get it back up again. It doesn't involve medicine. There's really simple shit you got in your kitchen cabinet that you can do. So if that's a thing for you, check it out. But yeah, it's usually some stuff like that where it can cause some upsets. So I see we got folks here. Just remember, we're here every Tuesday. I'm going to try to do this every Tuesday, but on Saturday nights as well, the first and third Saturday of the month. Okay. And then the rest of the Saturdays, I do it privately. So you can always get in on that. It's affordable, but it's private so that it's private. We talk about more private things in the charts. Okay. But it's 4:00 and I got to start wrapping this up because I got another thing I got to get to that starts shortly after 4. And you send emails to, let's get the thing back up here so that it all makes sense. You can get a free speed reading. All right. I'm here to try to give astrology readings to people who can't afford astrology readings. They're not cheap. And they shouldn't be. It takes a lot of time and knowledge, compounded knowledge and energy to do charts, to do them well. Because if you're really reading a chart, yeah, if you're handling things properly, it's not a joke. It's not a parlor game. It's not I'm reading your fortune crap. You take it very seriously. And so yeah, it could be difficult to be able to afford an actual private reading. So I offer the speed readings. Okay. The speed readings are for those who can't afford, or who just kind of like spontaneous readings, and that's fine too. But the knowledge of the astrology, it's freaking everywhere. It's in everything. It's the divine language of the universe. It absolutely is, of the cosmos. Better yet, it's the divine language of the cosmos. And for me, my angle is, if I have an angle, know thyself. It's in your freaking chart. It's on the paper. You were born with a certain energetic frequency grid, and that birth chart is you. It is your grid. It explains you to you. And once we know who we are, or at least understand more things than we used to understand about ourselves, we become much better human beings. And the reality is that we're all connected. And so if I become a better human being, if you become a better human, you understand the effect, right? The trickle effect. We absolutely are all connected, whether we want to be or not. So the goal is ultimately for us to become better, to improve, to elevate together, to stop killing one another, right? Like that's the goal. We just want to live in peace. Not that, obviously these are ideologies, but that's the goal, right? To treat each other fairly and with dignity and respect, and to support each other, to encourage each other on their own specific journey. And that's what this channel is about. That's what all astrology is about. That's why the name of the channel is All Astrology, because it's in everything and everyone. Okay. So if you like what you've seen or heard here, send me an email. It's Allastrology, spelled Gee at the end of Allastrology at gmail.com. Get your digits to me. That way I can have them before the next live stream. Let me know. Gee, I want a free reading. I want a quick free reading. Here's my digits. Then I can have it already in the system. Wow, what an idea. Makes it go fast, makes it go smooth. Then everybody doesn't have to wait while people are like, oh, but I gave you my birth digits and they've given me to me under a different name. And yeah, it's like a nightmare, right? I mean, I don't want to have to take it by order only where people email me first, but that's probably the reality of where this is headed. All right, I'm babbling. I have to end the live stream. Thank you, everybody who sent a channel gift. Thank you so very much. It helps me to keep helping you guys to do what I'm doing and to just assist in any way that I can. All right, take care. See you all on Saturday, 8 p.m. Central. Bye-bye.